Hello, Daffy. Hello, Becca. Thank you for reading my PDF. Yeah, you can ask questions anytime you're ready. Yeah, I'm ready when you are. I'm here. Hello, everybody. It's what is it? Today is May 12th, 2026, and it's 9:48 a.m. And I am here. It's Ask Teacher Mark time. So if you have questions, go ahead and ask me your questions, and I will do the best that I can to answer them. Okay? The way this works is you do the work, and I'll help you do the work. So, what that means is you have to know what you need. And you need to ask me the questions that you need to know. All right? So, I don't do anything, I just answer the questions. Okay? So, hit me. Hit me with your best shot. It's a great song. But hit me with your best shot means, come on, let's go. I'm ready. You're curious about the difference between I get used to and I'm used to. So to get used to something means to become familiar with something. I will get used to it means I will become familiar. I'm used to it means I'm already familiar, right? So if maybe people always call you the wrong name, right? Maybe they mispronounce your name all the time, and you could say, "Oh, I'm used to it." Means I'm familiar with it. It happens often. Okay? So to get used to something means to become familiar with it. To be used to something means that you're already familiar with it. Okay? Hello, Flavia. You just finished writing 110 advanced English text today. Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. Oh, Becca, are we doing those kinds of questions? Oh, I have to think about that. The most embarrassing moment of my life. Ah, um, so I think I'll say, okay, there are a few moments that come to mind, but there's one that was it was a learning lesson. It was a lesson learned. Let's put it that way. A learning moment. Uh, Many years ago, when I was studying drums with this drum teacher named Art Gore, he was kind of a famous teacher or famous drummer. And I studied with him, but sometimes, let's just say, he was very, very, very popular. And he had many, many performances. Like sometimes he would have two or three performances in one day, right? So sometimes he would let me play for him, like a substitute, right? He was too busy. So he would say, hey, Mark, these people wanted me to play, but I'm too busy. How about you go play for me? And that was amazing because that showed a lot of trust. He was putting a lot of trust in me. You know, his name is attached to that show. Somebody asked him to play, and then he recommended me. So now I have to try to do well, or maybe they'll think badly of him. Because if I don't play well, then they're going to think he doesn't know what he's talking about. So most of the time, that was great. I would go to these shows, and it was an amazing experience for me to play with these high-level musicians that were much older than me and much more experienced. But there was one show where he asked me to go substitute for him for the show. But the rest of the band, they didn't know. They didn't know that he subbed the show to me. So when I got there, they didn't know me, and they didn't know who I was or why I was there, and they thought he was going to be there playing. And I told them, no, he gave me the gig, he gave me the performance, and he told me to play. And they were not happy. They wanted my teacher. They didn't want me. And the piano player was he was a really, really amazing piano player, but he also happened to be an amazing drummer too. He plays drums and piano really well. And the whole night he was telling me to play songs. He would say, hey, do you know this song? And I would say, hey, I don't know that song. He'd say, okay, well, here we go. So he was killing me all night. He was calling songs that were really difficult songs that I didn't know. And he was trying to make my life hell. Like, he was trying to make me embarrassed in front of everybody. He was trying to, make me mess up because he was trying to call the most difficult songs that I didn't know, And it was rough. It was really rough. Okay, let's see. Next question. Hello, everyone. Hello, Nirmal. Hello, Camellia. Hello, Waleed. Hello, I'm fine. How are you? What's the difference between jealousy and envy? So the way I teach people this is that jealousy and envy are similar, but that jealousy is the negative form and envy is kind of neutral. Neither one are really good, but if you feel jealousy, it means that you're mad at somebody because they have something that you want, right? So maybe you have a crush on a girl. You like this girl, right? And this other guy is dating this girl now, right? Some guy is dating this girl, and now you're mad at that guy. Why are you mad at that guy? He didn't really do anything to you. You're mad because he has something that you want. That is jealousy. Okay? Now, envy is kind of like that, but envy is more like if your best friend buys a new car and it's a cool car, you're not mad at your friend, but you wish you had a car too. You wish you had a nice new car. Okay? So the difference is envy is really more like you have something that I wish I had, but it doesn't mean that you necessarily have a lot of bad feelings toward anybody. But jealousy means you have something that I wish I had, and I'm kind of mad at you about it. I'm not happy with you. I don't like you because of what you have and what I don't have. That's jealousy. Okay? One moment, please. Okay, let's see. Next question. How can you expand your vocabulary? Okay, there are 4 good ways to learn vocabulary that I use. One is to read. It's the number 1 way. I cannot stress this enough. Please look at me right now. Every teacher in the world that teaches any language, it doesn't matter what language it is, if they have students in their class, some students read and some students don't read. The students who read have much, much, much better vocabulary. It's clearly obvious. That's true in every single language. Okay, the Russian kids who read Russian books have better Russian vocabulary. The Chinese kids who read Chinese books have better Chinese vocabulary. The Spanish kids who read Spanish books have better Spanish vocabulary. And anybody who reads English books will have better English vocabulary. So the number 1 way to learn and expand your vocabulary, learn more and expand your vocabulary, is to read, 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 read. Okay? The number 2 way is to use a thesaurus. Go to thesaurus.com. Thesaurus.com is a free website that has a thesaurus. What's a thesaurus? It's a dictionary of synonyms. It's a dictionary of the family of words. So if you look up the word happy, it will show you all of the words that are in the family of happy. Words that mean something similar to or the same thing as happy. So this is a good way to learn many new words, right? So you know the word happy, but maybe you don't know the word jubilant or jovial. They mean happy. Okay, so that's the second way. The third way is by topic. Choose a topic and then learn the words in that topic. So you can choose sports. Now learn the vocabulary in sports, right? That's a big topic. So you could say basketball, football, baseball, cricket, golf, right? And then you can choose golf and talk about the golf clubs and the golf ball and the golf bag and the putter and the driver and the golf course and the hole, right? Or you can talk about baseball and the bat and the glove and the helmet and the uniform, right? Those are words that are related by topic. Because if they're related by topic, then you can imagine them and then you'll remember them. Okay, and the fourth way to learn vocabulary is by history, by etymology. Etymology means the history of words and where they come from and how they've changed over time. And there are many reasons why etymology can be very effective for vocabulary. Only if you are intermediate or advanced. If you're intermediate or advanced, then etymology is a great way to learn vocabulary. All right? All right. Hello, Nora Dean. Hello, Jerry. Thank you for reading my PDF, Jerry. You're asking about a link or book to communicate with high-level writing? What kind of high-level writing, Nordine? What's the best way to remember the spelling of words? Well, that's a little bit harder. Etymology does help with spelling. Etymology means where does the word come from? And English words come from many places. So 60% of English words come from Latin or Greek language. 30% of English words come from French. 20% come from German. We also have many words from Persian, many words from Arabic. We have words from Hindi. We have words from Spanish and Italian and Chinese and Japanese. Okay, we have words from many, many, many countries and cultures. So there are some words that if you know where this word comes from, then you understand the spelling a little more and the pronunciation a little more, right? So for example, the word cafe. The word cafe is a French word. It's a French word. So that's why we pronounce it that way. All right? That's a cafe. My hair looks uncombed. Well, let me help you with that. Is that better? I don't know. I don't do anything to my hair. I just show up here. I do that. That's what I do. That's my combing right there. Those are my combs. Yeah. It's just funny to me that you care more about my hair than I care about my hair. So, back to spelling. If you know that this word comes from French, then the spelling makes more sense and you start to see the patterns. If you know that this word comes from German, then you see the patterns, right? You understand the pronunciation and the spelling and the patterns, right? So that's why sometimes etymology can help with spelling and pronunciation. Like journal articles. Wait a minute. Let me think about that. All right. Try. Oh, that's for research. All right, let's try this. You want what is that website? This one. This is the website that almost every American college student uses for helping them with writing. It's the Purdue EDU OWL Index. You'll have to explore it because they have a lot of links there. But almost everything you need about academic level, college level writing is there, right? Everything from general writing to research, citation, resources, graduate writing, everything is there. Okay, Nordine? You're reading Word Power Made Easy by Norman Lewis. Okay, I don't know that book. Let me see something very quickly. Yeah, so Word Power Made Easy is the same system that I use, Sarita. It's etymology. Yeah, so he's using the same system that I use. I'm going to teach some of that in just a few minutes. I did prepare a couple things for you today. So, I'm going to show you how etymology is useful for building vocabulary. Okay? This is one of the better restaurants in this part of town. This is one of the best restaurants in this part of town. Do these mean the same? Uh, yeah, Larry. When you say the best, it sounds more. It sounds greater, a higher level, right? So, if I had to tell you what's the difference between those two sentences, I would say that there's a level of intensity, right? So this is one of the better restaurants in this part of town is here. This is one of the best restaurants in this part of town is here. That's my opinion. Okay, when I hear those two. Okay? One moment, please. Okay, let's see. Typhoon. Typhoon, Peter Lee. So the word typhoon might be from Chinese or it might be from Greek. There is a word in Greek, typhon, and there's the word in Chinese, typhoon, right? Which typhoon means big wind, right? but the word typhon in Greek was like it was a word that meant like a big monster. It was a monster in the ocean, right? And it would destroy your boats, right? So nobody is sure if the Greek word influenced the Chinese word or if the Chinese word influenced the Greek word. That is unclear. They're not really sure. But it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. That's why I like etymology, because it doesn't matter which story is true. The only thing that matters is, do you remember the stories? So in this case, you have two possible ways to remember this word. The word typhoon, sure, you could say it comes from Chinese, and if that helps you remember, great, then use that. Or you could say it comes from the Greek, and if that helps you remember, then use that. Both are fine, all right? Technically, it is from both. Okay. Merriam-Webster dictionary equates better with best in this sentence. They're very, very similar, but I wouldn't say the same. If I heard those words, I would feel like when you say the word best, it means something higher level. One of the better doesn't necessarily mean the best. Okay? Some people say whatever method you are using, it doesn't matter. We have to. So Mona Lisa, I won't say it doesn't matter what method you use. It does matter. There are some methods that work better than others, and there are some methods that will work better for you than others, right? So it does matter. There could be 4 methods or 5 methods that you could use, but maybe 2 of them are better for you, that you'll understand them better. So those methods are better for you, right? So then there are some methods you should choose because they work better for you, okay? But yes, consistency is kind of important. Whatever method you choose has to be consistent. What do native speakers do to help their kids learn and improve their spelling? Mostly just repetition. Repetition, 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 man. But also, let me see. There was this, I think. Let me check. Here is spellingtraining.com. That's a website to practice spelling. It's mostly for beginners, but they have a way that you can import your own list of words. So you can make a list and use any words you want. Games2learnenglish.com also. Games2learnenglish.com doesn't have a specific spelling section, but it has a vocabulary section where you can add your own words again. Okay? And then here is another spelling website, spelling practice website, homespellingwords.com. And also crosswords. Have you ever done a crossword? Those are fun. There are millions of crossword puzzles. Crossword puzzles are an excellent way to focus on spelling. Okay? Like, let's see. Here you go. ESLcrosswords.com in elementary, intermediate, and advanced. Okay? Go to that website. This website's amazing. It has 3 levels of, and they're, look, check this out. Look at this website. So, ESL Crosswords, they have elementary, intermediate, and advanced. Okay? And you can go down here. You can do it online, or you can get PDFs. You can download them and do them on paper. And they have them by topic. So you can say, let's do elementary crossword. This is elementary level, so it's beginner level, right? About animals, or about clothes, or about countries and languages, right? Or here's intermediate. Here's advanced, right? So let's do about school. Let's see. Hold on, let me find one. Here we go. Okay, so this is a crossword puzzle, right? So it says 3 across. This is 3 across right here. The teacher writes on this. The teacher writes on this. What is it? What does the teacher write on? It's 5 letters across. What does the teacher write on? That's right, the board. Okay, the board. And now you can do 4 down. Let's look at 4 down. Where's 4 down? There's 4 down. This helps you draw a straight line. This helps you draw a straight line, and it's 5 letters down. Ruler, that's right. See how easy that is? It's a great way to play games and practice spelling. Okay? And this is free. All right? Crosswords, crossword puzzles. They're called crossword puzzles. Okay? All right. Please be patient. I'm trying to answer all the questions. Please be patient. Okay, next question. Do I think Oxford English Dictionary is perfect? Guys, a dictionary is a dictionary is a dictionary is a dictionary to me. I don't really care. I only want it to be easy. So the dictionary that I use is dictionary.com. Dictionary.com is the website I use and the app that I use. Okay? But I don't care which one you use. Use whichever one you want. All right? You're an Italian teacher. Can I please give you some advice to integrate music into your school lessons? Well, that's a cool question, Antonio. Sure. Well, Antonio, that's almost too easy for you. Because so many words that are in music are Italian words, right? Piano, pianissimo, right? Forte, fortissimo, right? Andante, right? Adagio, right? Those are all Italian words. So one way is to tell the students, look how important Italian is to music. Everybody who learns music in the West, everybody learns Italian terms. That's kind of cool, right? You're teaching them crescendo, decrescendo, right? That's all Italian, right? So that's one way to help them understand, right? And then another way, history. Again, Italian music is critical to music history, you know? So you can look at Italian music, right? You could also you could ask them, what are your favorite songs, right? And then let's look at the song and analyze the lyrics. Let's talk about the lyrics. What does it mean? Do you understand what you're even talking about when you sing this song? Do you know what you're talking about? Now, you have to be careful with that because sometimes the songs are talking about some not good stuff for school, right? But if they can find a song that's appropriate, then you can discuss it, right? It also depends on what age, Antonio, what age? How old are they? Are they little kids or are they high school kids? You learn the words brouhaha and kerfuffle. Yeah, those are good words. Yeah. Brouhaha. Yeah, Wordles. Yeah, Wordles is great too. Yeah, duh. I don't know why I didn't say that before. Wordles, sure. Brouhaha means like a noise, or it's a party, but it's so now the word, if you say what's that brouhaha, it means what's that noise, what's that commotion, what's that noise. And kerfuffle is kind of similar. It's like a fight or a noise somehow. Usually it's noise caused by a fight. But yeah. Let's see. What are 3 keys to effective English communication? Listen. 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 You cannot communicate if you don't listen. This is the first lesson of music. And Antonio, this is a good lesson for you as well. There's a great musician named Duke Ellington. He's a famous American jazz musician. And he said that the most important thing that he looks for in a musician is if they can listen. Because you can't say anything good if you didn't listen to what other people said first. Yeah, it's a conversation. To converse, you have to be able to listen. But not everybody listens well. Sometimes when people are listening, they're not really hearing you. They're already thinking about what they want to say, so they're not really listening to you anymore, right? But when I play drums, the first thing I have to do is listen to the other musicians in the band. What's the bass player doing? And how can I fit with what he's doing? The rule that I was taught as a musician was, you should always try to play something that makes everybody else sound better. So what I play, I try to play something that makes this guy sound better. I try to play something that makes this guitar player sound better, whatever he's doing, right? So I have to listen to him first, then I can think about what I should do. That's the same in conversation. You have to listen to someone first in order to understand what you should say next or how you should participate in this discussion. All right? So really, that's why you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, because listening is twice as important as speaking. Okay? You struggle with reading English. How can I overcome this problem? Sorry. Go to eslfast.com. eslfast.com. That's a website that has free short stories. It has, I don't know, 3,000 or 4,000 short stories, and they're very short, and they start from very beginner, like baby level English, and they go up to adult college level English. But they're all short stories. Don't try to read a book. Don't try to read an article. Just try with short stories. Okay? All right, next question. It's been a long time searching for your ID over here. Fortunately, we meet again. Oh, I've been here the whole time. I haven't changed my name or my ID or anything. I'm still here. Rishab, I think I remember you. You went to music school, so did I. Yeah, so look, even in Russia, even in Russia, right? You're still going to learn a whole bunch of Italian. That was how I started learning Italian. I started learning Italian when I was in 3rd grade. Because in the 3rd grade, we had to sing a song, and in the song, it has words like crescendo and decrescendo and piano and pianissimo, right? All of those words, you know, we learned them as Italian. Okay? Hello, Alexander. Many tutors say you have to prepare vocabulary daily, but speaking time we can't remember, so when we face problems. Mona Lisa. Swim with the words, Mona Lisa. Swim with them. If you swim with them, then you'll know them. But if you're not swimming with them, then you won't know them. So when I say swim with the words, I mean you have to use the language. You have to get into the water of English, right? That's how I think about languages, like a pool of water. So there's the Spanish pool over there, and there's the Chinese pool of water over here, and this is the English pool of water. But if you spend all your time in your native pool, right? You're from India, so maybe the Hindi pool. If you're always in that water, then you're very familiar with that water because you're always in that water. But you're not familiar with the English water because you're never there. And there are 8 different ways you could be in the English water. So if you want to get into the English water, then you can work on your reading. That's one way. You can work on your writing, listening, speaking. You can work on your thinking in English. You can work on your vocabulary. You can work on your pronunciation or your grammar. Right? So there are 8 ways that you can be in the English water every day. Okay? But if you really want to learn something, please stop counting the hours. Okay? Real students don't count the hours. I'm sorry. We don't. If you really want to learn something, don't count, oh, I do 1 hour every day. I do 2 hours. I do 5 hours every day. That means nothing. Stop counting. Real students don't count the number of hours. They just study. All right? So when I say study, I mean get in that English water. Get into that English pool. All right? 11 to 14, Antonio. So yeah, at that age, kids are starting to choose the music that they really like, right? Before the age of 11, kids are usually listening to whatever their parents put on, right? Whatever their parents or their brothers, sisters maybe listen to. But between the ages of 11 and 14, kids start to choose the music that they like. So this is a good time that you can say, hey, what do you like? What kind of music do you like? You know, and you can even show them the connections between music from around the world, right? Show them how this kind of music influenced this type of music, right? If you know those things, I do, but I don't know if you do. You know, find out what they're interested in and just give that to them, man. That's all you got to do. All right? All right, what's the difference between the word must and have to? Nothing, really. Nothing. You must, you have to. Most of the time, those are interchangeable, right? So you must go to bed earlier tonight. You have to go to bed earlier tonight. In this case, those are pretty much the same, okay? The only difference I will say is, wait a minute. So the word must, sometimes the difference, and this is not always true, but sometimes the difference is must is more about a personal thing, and have to is more about an outside rule or some sort of a practical necessity. So, for example, if I say I must stop drinking alcohol, if I say I must stop drinking alcohol, then that's a personal decision. I'm saying I must do it, right? But if I say I have to do it, then that sounds like someone is telling me to do it. So maybe my doctor told me to quit drinking alcohol, so I have to do it, right? Or maybe I found out that I'm sick, right? And it's the alcohol that's making me sick. So it's serious, so I have to do it, right? So it's like something external is telling you that you have to, right? So must is sometimes more about a personal decision, and have to is sometimes more about an external, something telling you what to do, right? So, but not always, all right? Sometimes they are just interchangeable, okay? So in Chinese, sometimes I tell people 就是有时候就是差不多的意思，有时候就是一样的意思。Okay. Can you recommend any C1 listening resources like podcasts? Sure. Mohammed, Mohammed, I like to learn, Mohammed. So the C1 level podcasts that I listen to are educational, man. Okay? They're from experts, people who know what they're talking about, right? I do not listen to the bro podcasts. Okay? I don't listen to any of the bro podcasts. I listen to people who have expertise and knowledge, and people who understand their responsibility and the responsibility that they have when you broadcast. Okay? So, for me, I like a lot of the podcasts that are at npr.org. You can go to npr.org, and they have a lot of different podcasts, like, for example, This American Life, TED Talks, let's see, the Moth Radio Hour, wait a minute. Science Friday is a good one. Let's see. if you like art and artistic cultural things, then there's one called Fresh Air. That's also good. Let's see. There's one called The Hidden Brain. That's pretty interesting. There's one called Code Switch. So, Mohammed, these are the podcasts that I like because I like to learn. So I listen to these kinds of things to learn. You might not be interested. I'm not sure. Okay. But I just recommend one thing, Mohammed. You see this right here, Mohammed? This is a microphone, okay? Anybody can buy a microphone, Mohammed. Anybody can buy a camera, okay? And now there are literally millions of guys and girls out there talking about something. Look, I'm one of them right now. I'm doing it. I have a camera. I have a microphone. Does that mean that I know what I'm talking about? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Okay? Then you have to look at something called ethos. Ethos means, do you have a background? Do you have integrity? Do you have honor in what you do? Right? Is there a background in it? Right? Or are you just trying to make noise? Are you just trying to talk without having anything to say? Right? So, Mohammed, the only thing I will really recommend is find people who understand the responsibility of knowledge, and that just because you have an opinion on something doesn't mean that your opinion is correct, and it doesn't mean that you need to broadcast it to the world. So the people who I listen to are not the people who talk about their own opinions. The people I talk about are the people who are talking about evidence and research and facts. Data, real things that you can prove. Okay. So, I don't listen to Joe Rogan. I don't listen to Andrew Tate, people like that. Okay. So just remember that, Mohammed. Okay. Oh, Mohammed, honestly, what you just said makes me so happy. Really. It does make me really happy. The fact that you're not listening to Andrew Tate anymore, that makes me very, very happy. Because really, man, you don't need that fool. Okay? That guy makes his living off of sad men. That's what he does. He's exploiting sad men. All right? And you don't need that, man. You're better than that. You don't need that. Okay? So all you need to do to be better than him is care about learning. Okay? All right. Please be patient. Do I have any resources I can recommend for learning grammar? I do. My two favorite books are online for free. Let me find the right link for you. All right, this is Basic English Grammar. This is a book this is my favorite book for learning grammar. Okay, that's book 1. It's the most basic one, but they also have book 2 online. Let's see, where is it? Here. Okay, so they have book 1 and book 2. If you do book 1 and book 2, then you'll have a very good idea of basic English grammar. Okay, it's not advanced. These 2 books do not do advanced grammar, but they do they do teach basic grammar really well. Okay, so you can try those. And hello over here in my YouTube channel, Ayush and Bubrahim. Hello. Let's see. Hello, everyone. Hello, Roxy. Hello, Svetlana. Thank you. I'm planning to apply to some BPO industries. I'm just listening and watching to any English. Would that help my vocabulary? I wouldn't say any English. No, you should find the English that's useful. Okay? Don't just listen to anything. This is one of the most important things. When you're practicing listening, you need to listen to the right things. Don't just listen to anyone. Listen to people who speak well. Okay? What's the best age for kids joining music classes? I think like 5, really. Like right around 5 years old, you can start teaching kids basic music. Just basic. Don't make it serious. Just have fun with it, right? Teach them about rhythm. Teach them about the instruments, the different kinds of instruments, right? You can show them what the basics of piano are, like a chord and scales, and you can show them the basics of rhythm. So at the 5, 6 years old, that's when you can start introducing music and the concept of music to them, but just don't teach it to them like it's something to learn. Just teach it to them like it's something to play with. All right? Oppression, repression, suppression, what's the difference? Let me think about my answer for a moment. Hold on. Let me check something. Okay. The word oppression, to oppress someone or the oppressed, is usually talking about a social or political thing, right? A group of people that's being pushed down. So all of these words mean to push something down, okay? To push something down. But oppression means to push down a group of people somehow, okay? You're limiting them somehow. You're oppressing them, okay? Suppressing is about ideas, right? So if someone is telling you that you can't talk about something, then they are suppressing you, right? Maybe something happened at your job and your boss said, you can't talk about that thing. They are suppressing your language. They're suppressing you. They're limiting what you can say, okay? And then the word repression is about your mind and about ideas that are either unconscious or reactive ideas. So, some kind of a feeling or an urge, those are repressed things. For example, like maybe when you were a child, something terrible happened to you, right? Something really bad happened to you when you were a child that scared you a lot. So, because something really bad happened to you, you can't remember that anymore because it's too painful. That is called a repressed memory. You pushed it down because it's too painful. So, oppression is talking about something that's happening to a group of people that's being pushed down. Suppression is about ideas or words that are being pushed down. And repression is about thoughts or ideas or memories that are being pushed down. Okay? Today you saw the word exhilarating, which is really hard to spell and pronounce. It's irregular. Yeah, so the pronunciation is not as difficult as you think. The H is kind of silent. We don't say exhilarating. No, it's exhilarating. It's exhilarating. So just forget about the H, exhilarating. Pretend there is no H. That's how you pronounce it. Okay? And if something is exhilarating, it means very exciting. Okay? Okay, let's see. Please be patient. Unfortunately, the link of etymology vocabulary I've sent doesn't work for you. Really? Etym Online doesn't work in Russia? I'm surprised. Well, a little surprised. Let me check. Let me see something. According to this, it says it works in Russia. It should. Try this link again. Try that link one more time. Okay, let's see. My mic is amazing. It's a great mic. The rest is science. Oh, that is a good one. Yeah, yeah. Joe Rogan and Andrew Tate. Yeah. So Joe Rogan used to be a good guy who was a very curious guy. He's a very curious guy. I will give him that. He has a lot of curiosity. The problem is he has no wisdom. So his curiosity is really, really irresponsible. You can be irresponsible in your curiosity, especially if you have 100 million followers. Okay, so yeah. Andrew Tate's just a scumbag as far as I'm concerned. He's just an exploitative scumbag who's just using sad men to make money. So I think he's a POS. Look up what POS means. Don't admire him, Waleed. Come on, man. You're better than that. You're better than that, man. You're way better than Andrew Tate. That guy. I wouldn't stop to pee on him if he was on fire. All right. Hello, everybody. You still can't open that in China either. That's weird. Okay. You're welcome, Nusret. They are like PUA. I'm not sure what that is, Susu. Do I have any videos referencing or learning materials for job interviews in English? I do. Let me see. Here's this one. This is Randall's ESL Lab, and it's about job interviews. And here's this one. Let's see. Wait a minute. This one. Try those. Okay? All right, let's see. How can you know the pronunciation of words in the past, for example, worked, enjoyed, started? Andy, there is a rule. There's a rule about this. Let me help you with that. Let me show you that rule. I think I have it here somewhere on my desktop. I just have to find the right photo. Is it this one? It is. Here is the rule about how to pronounce words in past tense with ed. Take a picture of this, Andy. Let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger for you. There you go. Okay, so in past tense, there are 3 ways to pronounce ed words. Okay, so if the word ends with the letter T or the word ends with the letter D, then you pronounce it like id, like the word wanted, need-id, right? So it's id, wanted, needed, okay? Those are the words that end with T or D. If it ends with these letters, P, K, S, H, C, H, G, H, T, H, S, S, C, or X, then it sounds like the letter T. Helped, looked, washed, watched, laughed, breathed, kissed, danced, fixed. That's all t. All right? And then the final one is if it's the letter L, N, R, G, V, S, or W, Y, Z, then it's a D. Called, cleaned, offered, damaged. Okay? So take a picture of this, and that will help you with everything. All right? Free sources for audiobooks or novels? I don't know about that. I'm sorry, Jumana, I don't have that. Oh, and yes, Helen, the links, anything that's a link here, you have to copy it and paste it into your web browser and then try to open it, right? If you just click it here, it won't work. Okay? Can you talk about commitment to studying? How can you stay consistent in a practical way? Jumana, this is not as hard as it sounds. This is really just about knowing why you're doing what you do. Okay? So, why are you studying? Why are you learning English? Why is this important to you? Okay? What I tell everybody is anybody can climb a mountain, but everybody will climb that mountain better if you have a good reason, right? So if you don't have a reason to climb the mountain, then you don't really care. But what if your brother or your sister is sick or has a broken leg at the top of that mountain? Now you care. So now you climb with more care, right? So When you're learning, you need to know why you're learning. And many people don't know why. Like students, young students, many young students, if you ask them, why are you learning English? They'll say, oh, because my parents told me to. My parents want me to. They don't know why. They don't know how it could help them. They don't know it might help them with traveling. They don't know it could help them with education and school. They don't know it could help them with jobs and connections and, things that you can, people that you can meet who could help you. They don't know that it could help you with video games, if video games are important to you, right? So, being consistent and having a commitment is about understanding why. Why are you doing it? If you don't know why, if you don't know why you care, then you won't care. So figure out why you care. Okay? What do I think about Tucker Carlson? He also I'm not a fan, man. Waleed, Tucker Carlson might be right a couple times. But do you know what we say, Waleed? Here's a phrase you can learn in English. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. So that clock is broken. It doesn't work at all. But twice a day, it's right. That's Tucker Carlson. Okay? Alexander, that's funny. Okay, how can I know if I see a verb in its base form, and how can I know if it's in its past form, if it's regular or irregular? Andy, you have to learn the words, man. You have to learn the words. That's the only way. Okay, irregular verbs in particular, right? Like be and gone, right? Go, went, gone, right? I said be. I said go, went, gone, I meant. Those words are irregular, right? So you have to just learn them. There are some things that you just need to become familiar with. There is no pattern or way to memorize them that's more easy or easier. You have to just know them. So become familiar with them. Do a lot of exercises with them and you will become familiar. Andy, let me help you with that. If you go to this website, go to this website and practice the words in past tense. You can review that game and then play the game. Okay? Okay, next question. Where's the word whiskey come from? The word whiskey is originally from Celtic, Uskabetha. Uskabetha was the original word, and it means water of life. Water of life, Uskabetha. And basically, because it was very important to them, they used whiskey for rituals, they used whiskey for lots of important things, and whiskey was a valuable thing. So, water of life, Uskabetha. Let's see. Ah, PUA. So that's not a thing we use in the United States. We use the term emotional manipulation or gaslighting or brainwashing. So let's see. It's not the same as PUA. No. PUA is more like that's more like when your boss is always calling you bad names and always being mean to you because he wants you to be uncomfortable. Because if you're uncomfortable, then it's easier for him to control you and manage you, right? So I wouldn't call that a kind of suppression. I would call that a kind of emotional manipulation. Okay, so suppression is just when someone tells you you can't do that or you can't say that. Okay? Hello, Sergey. Yeah, it's more like gaslighting. It's closer to gaslighting. Yeah. What's the origin of the idiom goosebumps and why goose specifically? So the word goosebumps is when you're scared, maybe sometimes your skin, the bumps come up on your skin, right? This is true in many languages. Like I think in Chinese, it's chicken skin. They say chicken skin, I think is the term. And it's just why goose? It's just the history. Like, I don't think there's really a why except for that they chose that bird. That's a bird we used to eat. It's kind of weird. Americans don't really eat goose anymore, but we used to, right? So let me check something. So a long time ago, in the 15th century, they used to call it hen flesh, chicken skin. In the 1700s, it turned into goose skin. So it looks like mostly the reason why it's goose skin is because in the 1700s and the 1800s, goose was much more popular to eat. Okay? It was just a popular food. So people knew what it looks like and they know what it means. That's all. Okay? Yeah, people don't know PUA in America. Yeah, I had to look that up. I didn't know what that was, Larry. Yeah. Whom did I mean to be an evil? Did I say something about an evil? What did I say about that? I don't think I said anything about that. Yeah, so that's what it means in English. It means pickup artist, but we don't have the extended meaning that you guys have now, right? So a pickup artist is just somebody who tries to use words to get a girl to talk to them. That's a pickup artist. Okay, but that's interesting that it turned into a completely different meaning in China. You would like to share your story. It's about English while it's on the table. Sergey, give me a minute, and I will get to you. Helen. Yeah. So, Helen, I don't think anything was meant by that, but they don't ask me either, right, Helen? Nobody calls me and asks me. You know, Trump doesn't call me and say, hey, is this okay with you? All right. So we're just the plebeians, right? The plebeians means the regular people. We're just the low people, right? We don't have any control over those things. Okay? It's the way of the world. But when you're in a classroom like this, it makes it more clear that we don't do those things. It's not you, it's not me, it's not us. We don't make any of those decisions. Okay? Yeah. Okay, next question. Let's see. That's right. The meaning of the proverb is that even the most useless or fallible of person or instrument can occasionally be right. Yeah. Okay, let's see. What does mighty oaks from little acorns grow means? It just means an oak. An oak is a kind of tree, and it's a big tree. We have an oak tree in my front yard. It's really big. They grow really, really tall, right? So the oak tree is a big tree. But the acorn is tiny. It's a tiny little thing. This little acorn falls to the ground, and then 50 years later, there's a huge tree. That's what that means. So it means sometimes from small things, big things come. In my opinion, which mythology is most interesting in the world? That's a hard question to answer. All mythologies are really interesting. If you look at mythologies around the world, they're all interesting in different ways. When I was a boy, I was really interested in Norse mythology, you know, and the Norse gods like Odin and Thor and Freya and Valhalla and all that stuff, right? I was interested in that. But then I also studied the mythologies a little bit of Ireland and England, and I also studied the mythologies a little bit of the Aztecs and the Mayan people, and the Incas, and I studied some of the mythologies of the Greeks. The Greeks have, if I had to pick one, I probably would say the Greeks, but only because I know a bit more about Greek mythology, and there's so much of it. But Indian mythology is also really interesting. Hindi mythology is really interesting. All mythologies are very, very interesting. But when you study them, when I study mythologies, I try to understand them for what they are. Mythology is people trying to make sense of the world without all of the information. So when you don't have all of the information, you create a story that makes sense, right? You have to make, everybody is making stories all the time. But sometimes the stories you make come from things that are not really true. So that means you created a story that makes sense to you, but it's not based on real facts. That's mythology, right? Now, sometimes it is real. Every once in a while, it's like that broken clock thing. Every once in a while, some of the mythologies have some truth in them. So yeah, mythologies are interesting, but you have to study them and think about why. Why did they create this mythology? Why did they need this? What purpose did it serve in their community? What purpose did it serve for them mentally and psychologically? Why? Why did they think that way? Why did they believe those things? What makes me fun? Yeah, again, Helen, I think we know that here. I think we know that. Everybody here, I'm pretty sure we all know that you know, same with Americans, right? Sometimes they talk to Americans like I'm in charge. Like they ask me, hey, is this okay? No, they don't ask me. So, yeah. What was my biggest dream when I was a child, and did I make it come true? No. I had lots of big dreams when I was a child. I'm trying to think of if any of them. The dreams of children are always so interesting because the dreams of children are always so innocent. When you dream of being a fireman, you don't really know what that means. When you dream of being a doctor, you don't really know what that means when you're a child, right? You don't really understand. If you're a doctor, you're going to have to cut somebody open and put your hands inside their guts and cut, there's blood and there's all kinds of, and people might die, right? It's serious, right? But when you're a child, you don't really know. You don't really understand that. So you have many dreams, but most of them are not very realistic, right? So I wanted to be an architect because I thought buildings are cool, but I don't know about, I didn't know about how to become an architect, right? I wanted to be a musician, and I did. I am a musician, but I didn't know what it meant to be a musician. Not really. Okay, so the dreams of children are always so interesting because they come from a place of innocence. They like it because they're interested in it, even if they don't know all of it. They don't know anything. They don't know everything, but they're curious. So that's why they have the dream about it. But they're not very realistic. Okay. And Sergey, let me get Sergey up on stage if Sergey's still here. The cave myth from Plato. Yeah, sure. But that myth is actually from, that exists in many cultures. It's called the allegory of the cave. Allegory means a kind of story. And it's a story about well, I don't know if I should tell you the whole thing. It's basically the idea that the real world is not that real. Not everything that you believe is what is really true, right? So it's about knowing what's real and what's not real. It's kind of Plato called it the allegory of the cave, and Rene Descartes just called it was Cartesian philosophy, right? Which is like existential philosophy, right? Is this real or not? How do you know? It's like the Matrix and all of that stuff. It's the same stuff. So the movie The Matrix, all of that stuff in that movie, we've been talking about that stuff for like a couple thousand years. We've been discussing the ideas that were in the Matrix for a few thousand years. How do you know that everything's real? How do you know what you know? How do you know that you do know things? I think, therefore I am, right? These things, right? Do I want to be Spider-Man? Spider-Man? Spider-Man. No, not really. He was never my favorite. Spider-Man was never my favorite superhero. I used to want to be an astronaut, but as I grew up, I found that I get carsick easily. Yeah, so that won't work, right? Okay, Sergey. Let's talk to Sergey. Thank you for being patient, Sergey. Hello,
Hello, Mark. Hello,
hello,
guys.
hello, my friend. How are you?
Well, I'm okay. I'm doing well, but something happened recently, and I really want to you guys. Maybe it might be useful, come
Sure.
in handy. Um, yeah. It was yesterday, but I feel like it was hour ago. It still follow me.
Mm.
So, yeah. Yesterday, I went at speaking club offline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I try to visit this speaking club as much as I can,
Okay.
as often. Yeah. Um, and yesterday we had a new girl, newcomer. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I would say newcomer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she really she really stand out from others because her English ve- very good. I mean, how can I say it? Uh, I have never heard. Yeah, it's been a long time when I heard that English. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she has. Um, and she gave us a discussion tasks, what she always what she that she always does, and um, but somewhere in the middle of the lesson, that girl knew, she started um, okay, she started pushing back the host,
Hmm.
questioning the discussion format, and yeah, well, uh, and between a girl and the host, it's kind of turned out to be a little conflict
Mm.
between them.
Mm.
And as I actually more all elder than others in the audience, yeah. So they are all just youth, yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
teenagers. I feel like I am responsible for what's going on there.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
And I would like to. I should no, I should have interrupt. I mean, into the conflict, but unfortunately, I couldn't, express in English as I could, and yeah, I wanted to step in or stand up
So
for the host.
what was her problem exactly with the format?
Uh, okay, so I didn't remember exactly what I was saying in Yugo, but I really remember as how she turned to turn up. No wait, um, she looked at me and uh, like frown at me, like what are you saying? And kept talking with the host. Uh, and the first time when I was that way, I was uh, I take part in the conflict in English, right? In
Mm-hmm.
English, and I was freaking out, sweating really, and I was really out of words, any simple words. It's like the English just it was the first day um, I met English. I started learning, uh, but at the same time, I picked up new words, when I was, because I was really, uh, I don't know, I was frozen up. Yeah, I froze up. But that helps me to pick up new words, and I don't know, maybe through the conflict, through the nervous, it's also really helps to learning something.
It does, sure. So this reminds me of a couple situations I had too. Many years ago, I had a group class that I taught. It was adults. Well, it was open age. Really, anybody could come, but mostly they were adults. And it was a conversation class. So I would just choose a topic, and I had a bunch of questions, and we would go around and have a conversation. But every class was a different group. Like there'd be different people coming, right? They had like a monthly pass, and so some people would come every day, and some people would come a few times a month. So every class was different people, right? But every once in a while, you'd have somebody would come to class, and they were a little bit more advanced than everybody else, right? Usually it's somebody who's been studying for many, many years, right? And I'll tell you what, sometimes they're the worst students. And the reason why is because they come to the class and they think they already know everything. So they're not listening at all. They're not there to learn. They're there to show off. They come to the class, and then they speak and they use their great English, and everybody's like, wow, they're so amazing. And then they feel great. And now they assert themselves like they're the master, right? And it sounds kind of like this is what happened. Like this girl came and she's got great English, but you're not the host and you're not the one running the show. So you have to be deferential to the host, right? It's kind
She
of like,
wasn't probably in charge. Yeah.
right. There are sometimes people come to my room here and they tell me what to do. It's like, wait a minute. No. You came to my room. You don't come to my room and then tell me what I'm supposed to do, right? So it's the same kind of thing, right? So sometimes the most advanced students, they've been studying for a long time, and the problem is then they develop a sense of ego about their language, and they feel like they're much better than they really are, right? So every time this person, if I corrected them, they got angry every time I would correct them because I'm telling them they did something wrong, and now I'm embarrassing them in front of the class. And they came there to not be embarrassed. They came there to show off, right? So it does. I've had it happen more than a few times that I know this is there's a thing like sometimes students, they show up to a class not to learn. They show up to a class because they want to be, oh, look, I know everything. Like I know more than you do, I'm better than you. So that happens sometimes. But another thing is just recently I saw this great video of Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, right? The president of France. And he was at some conference. He's at some conference, and there's a lot of people, and they're watching something on stage, right? There's a bunch of people on stage with microphones, and they're talking about some kind of a cultural thing, right? And Emmanuel Macron stands up in the audience, and he's looking around at the audience, and then he walks up on stage, and he stops them in the middle of their presentation. He stops them, and he takes the microphone, and he says, excuse me, hold on a moment. And he yells at the entire room. He doesn't yell at them. He tells them, hey, there are people on stage. There are people on stage trying to give a performance, and you're talking. If you want to talk, go outside the room and talk outside the room. You're being really rude to all these people. And then he sat down, and the woman on stage said, like everybody was surprised because they were clapping and they were saying like, thank you. Somebody told them to shut up, right? And the woman on stage, she said, and ladies and gentlemen, that is what we call leadership.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was brilliant because it's true. It's absolutely true. He knew what he should do. He's in the room and everybody's talking and being rude and not paying attention to the people on stage. Now, granted, he's the president of France. So he has some power that way, right? But anybody should feel the same way. Anybody should feel like, hey, I'm going to get up. I'm going to tell all of you to shut up because you're being rude. And that's leadership. And sometimes you have to be the one to stand up and say, hey, cut it out, or hey, whatever you're fighting about, this is not why we're here. We're not here for your fight, right? So you're in your situation. It's an uncomfortable situation when you have to step in and try to stop two people from arguing or fighting. But I think that example that he set was really great, where sometimes you have to tell people, hey, this room is not about you. This room is about us.
Yeah.
This room is about us, not about you. So you came here making it about you. It's not about you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great when the leadership. I mean, the leader in the right place, in the right time, in the right place. It put someone. Put into.
They put them
in shoes. Yeah.
They put them in their place.
Yeah, or shoes a place. Yeah, place.
Yeah.
I guess. I guess. Yeah.
To
Place.
put them in their place means
Like,
to tell somebody.
shut up,
Yeah,
shut them
that's
up,
right.
shut
To tell
them, yeah.
somebody, hey, that's not your place to tell me what to do. I put you in your place. You are not the teacher. I am the teacher. You're the student. I put you in your place. Yeah. I have to do that here sometimes too.
Well, one thing pops in my head in English. Why would you just walk out? Yeah, walk out because
Right.
Definitely what that girl want to it doesn't happen. It wouldn't happen. Yeah, because here is the host and probably the audience, all audience for the host. Yeah, and she's just one. The girl, a newcomer,
Right.
just one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I think it's very important that everybody, you should regularly think about, it's not about me. Sometimes you need to tell yourself, it's not about me. This is not about me, right? And so in that situation, that girl made that entire room about her. She's being rude to the whole class, right? Like Sergey, a few days ago or last week, there was a girl who's been stalking me on Hello Talk for a few years. This woman who I don't know what I did to her.
Why it's going on so
I
long? It's
have
been going
no
for-
idea. I think she's a little bit off up here, But she comes to my room. She came to my room. She's been banned from Hello Talk already. Now this is the 4th time she's been banned. And she keeps coming back. And when she comes back, she comes into my room and I'm just teaching like I always do. I'm just teaching. And she'll come in and say, hey, you were rude to me and you were mean to me and you did this and you did that. And don't you think you should be? And she's making it all about her. She came to my room and I'm in the middle of teaching and now she's stopping me and everybody else and she wants to talk about her, right? So I have tried to teach myself and I have to think about it. I have to regularly tell myself. Everywhere I go, I try to remind myself, it's not about you. Life is not always about you. Now, occasionally it is about you, right? Like if you're in a relationship and some girl is not treating you well, that's about you. That's a situation where you can say, this is about me. This is a personal situation. But in many situations in life, it's not about you, right? If you're in a group like this, there are 91 people here, right? So this is not about you. This is about us together, right? And as long as we're all playing like that, then everybody's having a good time and everybody's learning together. But as soon as somebody says, hey, I don't care what you're doing, I have a question and I want you to answer my question. I don't answer those questions. I don't help those people because those people are only about me, me, right? And that's what you have to always say is sometimes you have to say, look, it's not about me, right? This is about us, okay? So you have to step in and just remember to that humility is a group think. To be humble. Yeah, to be humble, to have humility is to consider everyone, not just yourself.
Well, yeah. So after all, our host, she in the end she deal with herself, and that girl, I think so. She will never come back. Will never appear in this in that speaking club.
Yeah, she
And
probably won't come back.
you know,
Yeah, that's ego.
yeah,
That's ego.
yeah. Well, either she will find the group which fits her, or she will be tired of yelling, and making conflicts. And what Mark, what about learning English through the conflict when you take part in the conflict?
What about it? What do you mean?
Well, there's a topic, vocabularies about conflict. Yeah,
Yeah?
how to deal with the conflict, how to, let's say, how to
Conflict resolution, they call that.
how to turn the tables
Yeah, okay.
in English. You are practicing, and in this way, you try to express yourself, and protect your opinion, yeah, through the conflict. Conflict, maybe a little conflict, because big conflict, I don't know, not everyone can handle it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, debate, let's say a strong debate, a little conflict, yeah. What about to practice English through that?
Right. So that's not always just about English. That's about something called diplomacy. Diplomacy and conflict resolution. Yeah, so conflict resolution means there's a conflict. That means a fight. And you're going to help, you want to help find a way to end that. A resolution, to resolve, means to finish, to end, right? So diplomacy means this is what I want, and now I have to think about what should I say to get what I want. Right?
Yeah.
So the point is, you could say, give me money. That's one way, but that's not very diplomatic, right? It doesn't, nobody's going to help you if you say, give me money.
Find the reason. Yeah,
Right.
find the reason. Find the
But if
proper
you're
reason.
diplomatic about it and you say, hey, if you can help me this one time, then maybe I can help you 2 times in the future. That's diplomacy, right? I'm trying to negotiate, and I'm trying to use the right words to make you. This is why language does have power, right? If you know the right words, then somebody will listen to you, right? If you choose the wrong words, somebody won't listen to you. So, being a master of conflict resolution is about being a master of language.
Yeah.
Yeah, diplomatic language. To be diplomatic means, like my sister and I are always talking about this. My sister, she's she she has many many things that she wants. Like, I think I want this. This is what's best for mom and dad. This is what's best. She has many ideas about what's good, but she's not always good about how she says them. Like, so sometimes the way she says it comes off bad and makes people feel not happy, and now she won't get what she wants because she didn't say it the right way. So that's why language is so important, and that's why you have to know how to use language. Is like it's like a pocket knife, and a pocket knife, there are many different knives here, right? So there, I have different knives on this one knife. There are more than one knife. So you have to know which one to use, right? So in this conversation, I need this knife, but in this other conversation, I need a different knife, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm still, I'm still thinking of how it was, how I experienced that, and I remember that. Why? No, I'm overthinking about that. Why didn't I say any words? I mean, couldn't stand up for the host, or because my angry was higher. I mean, over
Mm.
overwhelmed, over than right ideas.
Yeah, you could say my anger overrode my
Okay.
senses. To override
Mhm.
means to take control of, right? So my anger overrode my rationality. My anger overrode my logic. My anger overrode my diplomacy.
Overall.
Yeah, to override means to take over in this case. Okay?
Mhm. Okay.
Override can mean like to override that decision means like, okay, I made a decision, but now my boss doesn't like that decision. So he's my
Mhm.
boss. So because he's my boss, he has the power to override me. Means like to veto, to say like, oh, I don't care what he said. He's below me. I want to do this. I'm going to override his decision. Right. So in this case, you're talking about being overwhelmed with anger. You're being
Mhm.
overwhelmed, and so because you're overwhelmed,
Yeah,
yeah,
overwhelmed.
because you're overwhelmed, your anger overrides your sense of calmness and logic and rationality. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I was just talking about this the other day, Sergey. Yesterday, I wrote a post. Somebody was asking me about my biggest weakness or something. And I said that, well, what I said now is the thing that I think I need to learn more and that I think I need to cultivate more is to have grace. And the word grace, it means when someone treats you badly.
Mhm.
So grace means when you have a negative situation, you don't
Mhm.
have to react negatively. So you have the ability to say like, here's a situation that's a bad situation. Now, I could get mad, I could get very upset about this situation, and I could yell at this person, but I'm not going to. I'm going to let it go because it's not always
Let it go.
because it's not
Uh-huh.
because it's yeah, because it's not always worth it. It's not always worth it to get angry, right? So to have grace means sometimes somebody did something wrong to you or somebody did something incorrect, but you're
Uh-huh.
but you're just going to let it go and you're not going to get angry about it. You're just going to say, "All right, it's no big deal." Right? That's
Don't add
to
don't
have
add fuel
grace.
to the fire.
Yeah, yeah. Like okay, so like maybe you've been working all day and you're very very hungry. And at home you have this food that you made yesterday. You were cooking and you made some really delicious food, and you're thinking about this food that you really, really want, right? And when you get home, you go to open the refrigerator and somebody already ate it. You know, your friend already ate your food. And so you could be mad and you could be upset, or maybe it's your mom. Your mom ate your food, right? Okay. So are you going to be mad at your mom? Are you going to yell at your mom about the fact that she ate your food when you were looking forward to it? No, you'll just be like, okay, mom ate my food. All right. Well, that sucks, but, but I'm going to let it go. That's to have grace. And it's not always easy. It's basically when you feel like I could say something here, I could yell at you, but I'm not going to. Either because it's not worth it, or because I don't need to hurt you to feel better, right? Like, if your mom eats your food, are you going to yell at her and say, I can't believe you ate my food. You're so rude and stupid. You ate my food. No, you're not going to do that. You're just going to say, you know, I hope you enjoyed the food. You know, I'll have something else. Right? So that's to have grace, is to be able to react to something badly without being bad. Right? So it's a bad situation, and most people will react badly. In that situation, most people will have anger. Most people will feel mad. But to have grace is to say, all right, I could feel mad, I could feel angry, I could yell, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to. I don't need to. I don't need to. That's the key. And this is maturity. This is really maturity. When you're young, you always feel like you need to fight.
Full of energy, enthusiastic. You wanna, you wanna let out everything what you build up.
And you feel like you always, everything is always a fight. You have to fight. You feel like you have to. But when you get older, you've done it enough that you don't need to anymore. You don't need to. So, Sergey, it's kind of like when I was younger. I remember when I was a young drummer, every time I went to a bar or a club, if I saw music, if I saw a band, I was always thinking like, I want to get up there and play drums. Yeah, I want to play. I want to play. I want to play. Can I play? Can I play? Can I play? But that's before I had experience. But then 10 years later, I've been playing for 10 years in the clubs and in the bars. Now, if I go to a club and I see a band, I don't feel that same need to say, can I play? Can I play? Because I've done it, right? So I have grace. I have grace. I have the ability to just be there and enjoy it without feeling like I have to do something or say something or make it about me.
Yeah, so you have been through that, and nothing makes you, take back. And
yeah, it gives you a sense of maturity that you don't have to always get mad. You don't have to react to every situation, right? You can just let some of them go.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Mark. Thanks for your, your point of view of that. How you see it. So yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. I take. I take this knowledge. Grace, override.
Yeah. Overwhelm, grace. Yeah, override.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Override.
Good. Yeah. And again, I that video that I saw with Emmanuel Macron, that's one of the best things I've seen in a long time. And it really is. The best part is when the girl on stage says, and ladies and gentlemen, that is what's called leadership. Because, he's sitting in the audience and he saw a problem and nobody else was saying anything, but he knows somebody needs to say something. That's leadership. When you know what's right and you do say, now, sometimes you need to have grace where you walk away because it's not about you. It's not important. But sometimes it is important. Sometimes you should stand up and say something, right? Like
Mhm.
in his situation, right? So
Yeah.
that's the difference between maturity and immaturity. Maturity is knowing when it's worth it to stand up and say something and when it's not. Sometimes it's not worth it. Yeah.
Um, well, I think that time, back to Speaking Club, I think the host, she felt my supporting, even though I couldn't tell anything, but she felt that I'm trying to stand up for her, step in, yeah. And maybe I hope so that my approach uh,
Drove. Very good.
drove her, uh, drove her what? Drove her deal with the situation. Yeah.
Yeah. You could say drove her to have to deal with the situation or drove her
Perhaps.
to face the situation. Yeah, to face
Yeah.
the situation. All right.
And you know what?
Yes.
Yeah. One thing.
Go ahead.
One more
Go
thing.
ahead.
I sadly I don't remember the idiom about take medicine.
Face the medicine?
I mean, that girl, these people
Mm-hmm.
who yelling, yeah, and the worse I mean, get worse things. They take medicine one day.
Let me think. What is
No,
that?
I mean, what they did, it came back to them. It's about medicine, I guess. So
uh,
medicine.
so yeah, sometimes when someone punishes you or something bad happens to you,
Yeah.
that's taking your
Uh-huh.
medicine. Yeah. That's taking your medicine. It's like learning your lesson.
Yeah. Oh, it says a taste. A
A
taste
taste of your
your
own
own
medicine.
medicine.
Yeah. A taste of
Yeah.
your own medicine. So that's like if I come to you and I start yelling at you, I yell at you and I yell at you and I yell at you. And then the next day you come at me and you yell at me. You're giving me a taste of my own medicine. A
Yeah.
taste of my own medicine. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
That's it.
Sergey,
That's all I have to say about that.
it's always a pleasure to have you on my stage because you always have something good to say and you always have something to talk about. And you know that that's what's important to me. If you have a topic, then I know that you want to learn. You want help. You want to go forward. But if you don't have a question, you don't have a topic, then guess what? That means it's just about me. It's just about me. It's just about me, right? If you have a topic, then it's about everybody. But if you just come on stage and say, hey, can I talk to you? Then you're just saying it's just about me. You're not paying attention to anybody else. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And
Sergey,
I also,
thank you so much
yeah,
for it.
yeah, also your audience have picked up something new today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Absolutely. Yeah, that's always good. All right, take care, my friend, and I'll see you next time, okay? All right, let's see. All right, please wait one moment. What's the meaning of karma and what's its origin? Karma is a word that comes from Hindi. It comes from Indian culture. And karma means that when you live, everything you do is like it's being recorded, let's say, right? So if you do some good things, then life knows you've done some good things. And if you do some bad things, then life knows that you've done some bad things. And if you do bad things, then sometime in your life or lives, in Hindi, they have many lives. They they have reincarnation. Reincarnation means you die and come back and die and come back and die and come back. And sometimes you might come back many, many, many times before you figure out or you understand enlightenment. So the idea of karma is a record of your life, of the good and bad things that you have done. And destiny will reward you or punish you depending on what you have done. That's karma. Yeah, what goes around comes around. That's right. That's exactly what we say, right? What goes around comes around. America's huge. If I visited for the first time, which state would show me the real America, not just the tourist stuff? If you're visiting America, the truth is you can't really know what any country is like if you visit that country, okay? So if you go to a country for 2 weeks, you will not really know what that country is really like. Traveling is amazing, and you can learn a lot when you travel. But if you live someplace for 6 months, that's very, very different than living there for 2 weeks. Okay? So, so for me, when you say I'm going to visit America and you want to see the real America, I don't even know what that means. There's no such thing as the real America, okay? Like every part of America is the real America, all right? So that's what makes America America. Variety, okay? The fact that we are varied. We are everything, okay? So, for example, if you want to see the real America, you can go to New York City and you can go to the neighborhood of Queens. And let's see, how big is Queens? Let me see. How big is Queens? It's not very big. Queens is a neighborhood in New York City. It's the largest of the neighborhoods. It's about 109 square miles. That's about 282 square kilometers. One moment. So Queens is well, it's bigger than I thought actually. So Queens is a neighborhood, okay, but it's a big neighborhood. If you go to Queens, you can hear 160 different languages in Queens. You'll see every food, every music. They're all there. That's one kind of America, all right? But I live in Cincinnati, Ohio. It's in the Midwest. If you come to my city, it's a very different experience, but it's still America. If you go to Chicago, it's a very different experience, but it's still America. There is no one place you can go to see America, because what makes America America is the fact that it is everything. We are every people. Every people in the world have come here, and some of them live here. So every single country in the world, there are people from that country living here in a community. Okay? And, you know, so whenever I hear the term real America or the real Americans, that's such a stupid term because there is no such thing. Okay? There's no such thing as one American that's more American than the others. We're all different. Okay? All right. Do you have karma in your DNA? I don't know about that, man. Okay. Because New York is the center of the world. Well, yeah, in a way, man. New York is a very interesting city, okay? It's just such an interesting city because you can find almost everything in New York City. It's such a weird place because everybody goes there and everybody wants to be there. So it's a very interesting mix. It's a mix, you know? Is it chaotic? It is chaotic. Absolutely. New York is pretty chaotic. But you're from Brazil. Come on. Rio is also chaotic. I've never been to Rio, but I know it's chaotic, right? So I don't think, if you've been to Rio, then you won't be that, New York won't seem very crazy. Okay? Don't worry. Is New York the most expensive city? It's one of the most expensive cities, but I think maybe San Francisco might be the most expensive. Let's see. San Francisco and New York, those are the two most expensive cities in America. Okay? What about Las Vegas? Las Vegas is okay, but I wouldn't want to live there. Okay? Las Vegas is a cool place to go visit once. I've been to Las Vegas and it's okay, but they have a lot of gambling. That's all they really have. It's just a lot of gambling, a lot of casinos and card playing, and that doesn't really interest me. I'm not interested in gambling. Why, So I'll go do it once, but then I'm done. And it has a lot of lights, right? It has a lot of bright lights. It's a very bright city with a lot of lights. And it's interesting to go to because it's unique, but they call it the City of Sin. It's Sin City, okay? And it's, if you want to do a lot of drinking and you want to go to a lot of casinos and gamble, then go to Las Vegas. But if you're not interested in drinking and gambling, then Las Vegas is not that great. I mean, okay, wait. Las Vegas does have one thing that's really amazing all the time. Las Vegas does have great entertainment all the time. If you go to Las Vegas, there will be famous people performing there all the time. All right? So that's one thing Las Vegas has, is they do have a lot of great performances that you can see, and a lot of cheap food. They have a lot of cheap buffets. The most amazing buffets that you've ever seen in the world are in Las Vegas. If you want to see an incredible buffet of food, go to Las Vegas. Yeah. Okay, let's see. You thought LA would be more expensive. LA is expensive. I mean, all of America is expensive, but all the major cities are definitely expensive. Yeah. What happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas. And they say that because, yeah, people go to Las Vegas and they get very, very drunk and you do a lot of stupid things, right? So have you seen the movie The Hangover? Then you've seen Las Vegas. If you want to know what Las Vegas is like, watch the movie The Hangover. The U.S. is famous for national parks. That's true, Carolina. Absolutely, that's true. If you come to America, definitely try to see some of our parks, you know, like Yellowstone or the Grand Canyon, you know, those are amazing. They're incredible. But to me, that's America, but that's Earth, right? Like when I see the Grand Canyon, that's Earth to me. That's just an Earth thing. That's a beautiful thing on Earth. Okay, it's the Grand Canyon. It is older than America, right? So I can't say that the Grand Canyon is American because the Grand Canyon is thousands of years old and America is only a couple hundred years old. So that doesn't work, right? Yeah. Yeah, sir. It's called The Hangover. The Hangover. Susu wrote it right there. The Hangover. You didn't like that movie. Yeah, it's a bit wild. Oh, they've got 3 of them, right? Yeah. Okay, guys, my stomach is grumbling. My stomach is growling and grumbling because I need to eat some food. So I'm going to go because I've been here for 2 hours and 20 minutes. But before I go, I want to make sure that you have what you need from me. If you want to know who is this guy and when is he on line, when does he teach, this is my PDF file. Everything you need to know about me is in that file. I have been on this app for more than 12 years. I have been streaming here as a teacher for more than 4 or 5 years. I have about 90,000 followers around the world. Okay? So, if you want to know my schedule, get the file. If you want to know my YouTube channel and my website and my blog, get the file. If you want to know about how to read, how to study vocabulary better, get the file. If you want to know about how to think in English, get the file. Okay? So get the file, get the file, get the file. This is the file. Copy the file, paste it into your browser, open it, and read it. Okay? I made a file because people ask me the same questions all the time, and I can't answer them a million times. So I made a file so that you can read it. All right? So please get the file and come back and see me again next time, okay? Have a good morning, have a good afternoon, have a good evening wherever you live in the world, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.